Saw you went and
what will we do with this moment? How will we be remembered? Look at the opportunities before us.
This election really isn't about the left versus the right. It's about we the people choosing our government and the choice between freedom versus tyranny.
Nobody has a chronic disease burden like we have. Why are we allowing this to happen to our children? Ultimately, the only thing that will save our country is if we choose to love our kids more than we hate each other.
What is going on here is deeper than politics. It is deeply spiritual. We are being called to rise above the hatred and the fear and the evil.
We need to remember above and beyond that we must love our neighbors, that we must treat other people as we hope to be treated.
You want to be a rebel? You want to be a hippie? You want to stick it to the man? Show up on your college campus and try calling yourself a conservative.
America is going to reach heights that it has never seen before. The future is going to be amazing!
You want healthy children. Don't you want a president that's going to make America healthy again?
Come to you today as a former Democrat. I will be a first-time Trump voter tonight.
The people dreamed this country, and it's the people who are making America great again.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
Cassidy Hutchinson, I saw you went and gave her a hug after she testified.
It was unpatriotic. It was un-American. We were watching the Capitol building get defaced over a lie.
Why did she go where so few have gone before?
What Cassidy Hutchinson did was an unbelievable example of bravery and of courage and patriotism in the face of real pressure.
The president said something to the effect of, "I'm the effing president, take me up to the Capitol now." To which Bobby responded, "Sir, we have to go back to the West Wing." The president reached up towards the front of the vehicle to grab at the steering wheel.
People have outright said that she's not telling the truth, that Cassidy Hutchinson's not telling the truth about what happened in the presidential motorcade.
The committee is not going to stand by and watch her character be assassinated by anonymous sources and by men who are claiming executive privilege. And so we look forward very much to additional testimony under oath on a whole range of issues.
Do you have allegations?
So you are indeed going to hear a lot more testimony on a lot more issues. What traitors these people are, what liars they are, which I guess go hand in hand with traitors. So I have a lot of stuff to cover about this. In case you have not heard, the House Committee on Oversight has recommended a referral to the Justice Department to prosecute Liz Cheney. Since you know Merrick Garland and Christopher Wray aren't going to do anything, that means that this referral that was officially given to the DOJ and the FBI are going to be sitting on the desk of Kash Patel and Pam Bondi when they get in. This is going to be an open case. So I would assume after what you hear today, you're probably going to say it's never going to go to court. And it probably won't. But we need to get the information out there. And by the way, the reason why it won't go to trial and it won't get prosecuted, because undoubtedly Joe Biden will now give Liz Cheney and most of the people on the January 6th committee a pardon. You can almost count on it. Now that this information has been exposed, there is no doubt in my mind that Liz Cheney, Benny Thompson, the whole bunch of them are going to get pardons. They absolutely screwed Donald Trump. They absolutely tried their best to put this man in jail. It's obvious at this point they committed perjury, and I would even go as far as say as treason in terms of what they tried to do and almost got away with it. So let's listen in.
Made at the close of this week's hearing that witnesses coming before the committee have been threatened by people close to Trump.
Do you know who was doing it?
I don't want to comment on that. But it's very serious. It really goes to the heart of our legal system, and it's something the committee will certainly be reviewing.
So you think some of the testimony you received wasn't truthful because people were threatened?
The way that I would put it is that it gives us a real insight into how people around the former president are operating.
I want you, well, you probably just saw the banner at the top there. I wanted you to take note of something. Since you can't see it, when it comes back around, you'll notice it. The people doing this interview with Liz Cheney, I think his name is George Carl, whatever is John Carl. It's ABC News. The same news organization that just got sued for $15 million, or settled rather for $15 million for defaming Donald Trump. I would almost bet you here comes another lawsuit. With everything that came out this morning, now he's got grounds to go after ABC once again. And this reporter who interviewed Liz Cheney, knowing she was spewing complete BS. And The View with Alyssa Farah and Cassidy Hutchinson, yeah, lawyer up. You're about to get bankrupted. But then again, Joe's probably going to pardon them as well.
Into the extent to which they believe that they can affect the testimony of witnesses before the committee. And it's something we take very seriously. And it's something that people should be aware of. It's a very serious issue. And I would imagine the Department of Justice would be very interested in and would take that very seriously as well.
In fact, Cheney told me that the committee may make a criminal referral to the Justice Department recommending that anybody that attempted to influence witness testimony before the committee be prosecuted for witness tampering. Rob?
How sweet is that? The January 6th committee and Liz Cheney wanted to refer for prosecution anybody who's involved in witness tampering. Little did she know at that moment that she said that to Jack Smith and to Merrick Garland and to Christopher Wray. She was actually incriminating herself. She was the one who was witness tampering. I've said it a few times. These people never expected Donald Trump to win. They figured they had it. They were going to put him away. It would never, ever get to this point. And now they're going to be on the hook for lying, perjury, tampering with witnesses, destroying evidence. I mean, it's going to be a laundry list of crimes that I think at the top would be treasonous. I mean, I'm looking at what some of you guys are saying. She was really stupid. Thomas B. says Liz Cheney equals stupid. Really stupid. Did you think? Well, yeah, you did. You thought you would get away with this. You thought this would never see the light of day. Donald Trump would either be dead or he would lose. They didn't think he would win in a landslide. So they went from, hey, let's say maybe we could take him out, to maybe we can put him in jail, to maybe we could cheat our way into the White House. In any event, we had 3 options. We had all kinds of insurance plans, and none of them worked. And now they're sitting back, and their only hope at this point is going to be Dementia Joe, which I pretty much, as you guys probably believe as well, is going to quickly bail them out before January 20th. It's just all laying out like the Broadway play that they tried to put on. And now we're seeing this, and what I'm going to be showing you, it's flipping incredible. It's brazen what these people did.
All right.
Donald Trump became president again. What would a second Trump term look like?
Fundamentally, a second Trump term could mean the end of American democracy as we know it. And I don't say that lightly. We all win.
Now, this is Alyssa Farah. And now she's actually, as you guys may know, she's on The View. This interview was from December, not of 2024, December of 2023, when they were terrified that Trump could possibly be the candidate. That, and back then, as we know, Dementia Joe was the one running for the Democrats, and they actively began pushing for Joe Biden to be president. They jumped parties. That's how much they hated Donald Trump, for whatever reason. And so the other woman who you're going to hear from is Cassidy Hutchinson.
Witnessed him trying to steal a Democratic election before and going to historic and unconstitutional lengths to do so. And that just shows that he's willing to basically break every barrier to get into power and to stay into power. But also, I'm very concerned about what the term would actually look like.
The fact that he feels that he needs to lean into being a dictator alone shows that he's a
This one is Cassidy Hutchinson.
Weak and feeble man who has no sense of character and integrity and has no sense of leadership.
So we just heard two women sit there talking about this man, Trump, having no sense of pride, no sense of leadership, patriotism, nothing. He was scum. We couldn't have him in the office. We couldn't possibly have this guy there. Little do they know that they were stupid enough to put out text messages where they were interacting with Liz Cheney, never thinking these things would see light of day. Let me show you, the upstanding woman that Alyssa Farah is, what was going on. I don't know how Jack Pozo got a hold of these text messages, but it says, hey, Alyssa Farah, did you help Liz Cheney get Cassidy Hutchinson to change her testimony? Did you know that witness tampering is a federal crime? And he's got actual text messages from Liz Cheney and Alyssa Farah. It's sitting right here. And it says, I know you're busy, but is there a chance you've touched base with anyone about what we talked about Tuesday night? Hey, yes. So I reached out to Liz. She agreed to keep our conversation totally confidential. Totally confidential. She said she admires you. She could tell that you wanted to do the right thing from your testimony. Her one concern was so long as you have counsel, she can't really ethically talk to you without him. But what she suggests is a follow-up with you, with your lawyer, that she and Dan George can lead. So they've thrown this guy Dan George into the mix. Probably can do without other members and Tim. Does that help at all? I can tell she really wants to work with you and is just trying to figure out the right way to do it. I mean, do you think this is actually of interest to her at this point, or is it moot? Like they have moved beyond it. Oh, it's very much of interest. She basically just wants to structure in a way you are comfortable and wants to make sure it's clear if you speak to them again, it's them asking, not you, so you don't get in trouble. Oh, so you were telling her how to do this and how to make the communication so she wouldn't get in trouble. That's witness tampering. That is full-on witness tampering. No, Barry's not a lawyer. I am not going to, but I've talked to lawyers, and I'm seeing from lawyers what they're saying. Here's Mike Cernovich. Mike Cernovich is an attorney. Sharing privileged communications from her lawyer could be seen as a total waiver of attorney-client privilege, which means in any investigatory interview, every conversation could be interrogated. Folks, don't share confidential communications between you and your lawyers. And there's even more. So here are some of the additional text messages that somehow Jack pulled up. And hold on, let me go back to the actual tweet because it's going to be easier to pull them up. All right, this first one says, "Hey, this is Cassidy Hutchinson. I'm sorry for reaching out this way, but I was hoping to have a private conversation with you if you are willing. If you notice, the phone is to Liz Cheney's phone." At which Liz Cheney responds, "I would be happy to. Let me know what time works for you. I'm free all day for a call or in person, whichever you prefer. I really appreciate this. Give me a call when good for you." And move down here, it says, "Can we aim for 1 o'clock? Second phone call. Again, this is more text to Liz Cheney. "We'll call shortly. Sorry, got stuck on another call. Call again." And then continues, "Can I give you a call tomorrow? Jeff FYSA, just for your," I don't know what that means. "Of course, everything." So here we have multiple text threads of Cassidy Hutchinson and Liz Cheney. But Trump is the one who can't be trusted and isn't loyal. And these people right here are just completely tampering with witnesses and trying to do everything they can to make sure that Trump isn't elected, which he's going to talk about right now.
The West Wing, and frankly a lot of cabinet secretaries, they know how dangerous Trump is. People who have the deepest level of respect for, like my former boss, Vice President Mike Pence, he's seen more than any of us have seen.
You catch that? Her former boss, Mike Pence. That's who she was aligned with. Now it starts to show the picture of what's going on. You were in the Mike Pence camp all along, your former boss. You didn't like what Trump was doing, and so you decided to blab and set him up.
He knows more than any of us know, and I would just hope in this moment when we are less than a year out from, or basically a year out from the election, that he would think about speaking out more forcefully just about the unfitness of Donald Trump. This is not about politics. It's not about policy. It is about the character of the man who's the leader of the free world.
Yeah, 'cause even now, even 3 years later, almost, there are many that haven't come out who know exactly what you all know or know more. His campaign theme is retribution. I mean, this is the centerpiece of his campaign. He says, "I am your retribution." This is a tough question, but let me ask each of you, are you worried that you will face that retribution if he comes back in?
It is a very real concern. I've met with former cabinet secretaries very recently who are also on this, potential theoretical list, and they're worried about it. Listen, I'll say this with Donald Trump is, what scares me as much as him and his retribution is the almost cult-like following he has over his most diehard supporters.
So we're in a cult. Just so you know, we are in a cult. We have no minds. We don't think for ourselves. We just do what our dear leader tells us. That's what these people were putting out in December of 2023, trying to let the media and everybody else think that we were nuts. Absolutely nuts. They think so little of us. And they basically convinced the media to think so little of us. Remember, this is just one big cocoon. This is all up in the Beltway in Washington. This is all the people in the media looking down their snouts at real Americans. Americans who just wanted to find a way to, have a better life, be able to pay for stuff, be able to eat, be able to pay their bills and enjoy life. And these people up in Washington and in the media, they just have complete disdain for us. They don't care.
The threats, the harassment, the death threats that you get when he targets you, and he's deliberate in targeting, is really horrifying and has no place in our American discourse, and is unlike anything I've seen in the decades plus I've been in politics. I'm less worried for any personal aspect for me, but it is he knows how to use government better this time. He can put in diehard loyalists who can weaponize every level of government against his detractors, against...
See, I didn't know that they had started this loyalist stuff way back then. They had been talking about Trump putting in this. Remember, this is from December of 2023, a year ago. And they were already planting the seed that Trump's just going to put in loyalists. People are going to obey what he has to say. They don't care. They're just going to go about their business, and they're going to do everything they possibly can to destroy America.
The American people against the media. It's almost too scary to fully wrap your head around what it could look like.
Our singular focus needs to be, if he is the nominee, on making sure that he is not elected the president again next November.
Even if that means electing a Democrat.
Right now, there's a large portion of the population that's not recognizing their mistakes, that's not working to continue to better our country. And
they didn't care. He asked them, even if that means electing a Democrat. Better than Trump. We don't care. We're getting paid. We're getting paid to say what we got to say.
Now we're completely splitting down the middle. On one side, that's the truth, and that is reality, and the other side is propaganda and lies. This is a fundamental election to continue to safeguard our institutions and our constitutional republic. But if we crumble as a nation, we're setting the example for generations to come, not only in the United States, but on the global stage, that democracy is an experiment and it's not guaranteed. We're extremely fragile as a country, and so is the democratic experiment.
Administration Subcommittee on Oversight, the committee that's been investigating January 6th, just released its final report for this year. It accuses Liz Cheney of tampering with the witness, Cassidy Hutchinson, trying to influence her testimony. It formally recommends that the Federal Bureau of Investigation criminally investigate Liz Cheney when President Trump takes over on January 20th.
All right, so let me show you some little ditties in the actual report. It's going to blow you away what these people have been alleged to have done. So I think I've got some actual pictures just to show you, but if the pictures don't show up, I'll just go to. All right, so here's from the actual report. Let's do it this way. All right. Based on an inventory of the digital data and statements from Chairman Thompson, the subcommittee discovered that the committee failed to archive more than 1 terabyte of digital data. Terabyte of data is a crap load of data. I mean, an absolute mother load of data, and they didn't keep it. In the July 7, 2022 letter to Chairman Loudermilk, Representative Thompson claimed that the Select Committee archived over 4 terabytes of data. However, after reviewing the archive file, the subcommittee received less than 3 terabytes of digital data. You know, some stuff is missing. 1 terabyte is a substantial amount of missing data. 1 terabyte of data. Now, don't want to get you in the weeds with terabytes and gigabytes, but this is how big a terabyte is. 1 terabyte of data is equivalent to 6.5 million pages. 6.5 million pages, such as PDFs, office files, or 500 hours of high-definition video, or 250,000 photos. Gone. We don't even know where they are. Sorry. This was supposed to be a legal hearing. Where is the information? Sorry. Included in the physical files the Select Committee archived was a memorandum from the Select Committee's e-discovery platform contractor dated December 28, 2022, in which the contractor explicitly states that the Select Committee excluded, quote, committee work product and documents deemed as sensitive from its archiving process. Get back to that. It is unclear which files were excluded, but it is clear that the Select Committee instructed its discovery contractor to proactively remove certain files from the archive it prepared and subsequently turned over to the subcommittee. Lots of words, just to let you know, is they deleted a boatload of data. Whether it was 500 hours of high-definition video or 6.5 million pages of PDFs, gone. Never to be seen again. Well, they think. Who knows if the forensic guys can get in there and find it. But in any event, for all intents and purposes, the data discovery team said it's gone. Just gone. Take our word for it. We're telling you what was in there. You know, we're telling you we had Trump by the cojones, and we only kept the stuff we needed, or something. Really? Then we get in here. Let's see this one. Representative Cheney's influence. Hold on, let me get this so I can actually read it. 1 second. You guys can read. Okay. Vice Chair Cheney covertly assisted Hutchinson and influenced her to fire her attorney. Representative Cheney's influence on Hutchinson went way beyond contacting Hutchinson directly. Representative Cheney played a primary role in Hutchinson firing her current, free to her legal counsel. So she wasn't even paying for an attorney, and they told her to fire him. And even provided Hutchinson with a list of attorneys that would likely contribute to building the narrative. So get rid of your guy. We're going to give you another guy who's going to basically act as your attorney, but he's going to do it in a way we want him to do it. The account of how Hutchinson terminated her counsel and hired new counsel varies in important ways between Hutchinson and Representative Cheney's respective memoirs, both published in the aftermath of the Select Committee. According to Representative Cheney, her concerns for respecting ethical boundaries limit her contribution to Hutchinson's strategy, and she passively waited for Hutchinson to fire her attorney and find new counsel on her own. Liar! So now, this stuff is in the record, but at the same time, all these text messages are showing what they were doing behind the scenes. Everything we were seeing about this January 6th BS was indeed a Hollywood production. It was scripted. It was filmed. A bunch of stuff got cut out on the editing floor. They only wanted you to see what they wanted you to see. That was it. It was a sham. There was no way this thing should have ever went forward. This one here. Okay, let's go to the next page. Vice Chair Liz Cheney continued communicating directly with Cassidy Hutchinson despite problematic ethical implications. She kept doing it anyway. After her third transcribed interview, Hutchinson reached out directly to Representative Cheney, while Hutchinson revealed the general timing of these conversations in her book. See, they all wanted to get rich. Everybody's going to write a book. You know that's money laundering, right? I mean, you do know one of the best ways to launder money is through book sales and art sales. You see, nobody can put a value on art. You could literally take your hand out of your baby's diaper and take the poo and write it on the wall and then sign it, and all of a sudden it's art that has no value except to the person purchasing it. Oh, that's just beautiful poo on a canvas. Oh, I'd pay you easy $100,000 for that poo. And nobody can say it's not worth that. When I lived in Hartford, Connecticut, well, actually I lived outside of Hartford, but they commissioned an artist to do a sculpture on City Hall property. They were going to pay him $200,000. True story. The guy flew in, or had trucks bring in, 6 boulders. And he put the boulders in a different formation on the grass in front of City Hall and said, send me my check. It's 6 rocks, dude. Yeah, but it represents this and that and the other thing. And they had to pay him. They tried to sue him, and the judge's like, hey, you may not like it, but somebody may like it. You cannot put a value on art. Easy money laundering. Same thing with books. Who wants to read Cassidy Hutchinson's book? Who knows? Her mother, and her family? But if she sells 100,000 copies of the book, they just sold. Hey, it was on Amazon. It was in Barnes & Nobles, and 100,000 copies were purchased. Who bought it? I don't know. You're going to go trace all these purchases? So, a little sidebar there. Notice when all these politicians sell books and they get on the best sellers list, you're like, who the hell is buying this crap? Who really wants to read a book from Cassidy Hutchinson? Okay, so anyway, let's continue. So Cassidy Hutchinson writes a book. Where were we? Her book. The extent and content of their communication was not previously disclosed until they were uncovered by Chairman Loudermilk. When Hutchinson texted Representative Cheney, she was still represented by Pasentino, her former attorney, which Representative Cheney knew. Representative Cheney and Hutchinson communicated directly for days without the attorney's knowledge. Liz Cheney is an attorney. She knows firsthand you cannot communicate directly to a represented client. So while this woman, and she acknowledged, was still being represented by an attorney, Liz Cheney, an attorney herself, started talking directly to her. No, you can't do that. That is an ethics violation. It is unusual and potentially unethical for a member of Congress conducting, because remember, at this time, she was still in Congress, conducting an investigation to contact a witness if the member knows that the individual is represented by legal counsel. Representative Cheney is an attorney, and as an attorney an attorney who circumvents an individual's legal representation would violate well-established attorney ethics standards and a Washington, D.C. bar rule of professional conduct, regardless of who initiates the contact. So even if Alyssa Farah or Cassidy Hutchinson initiates it, continuing with that conversation is a violation of the bar. She should know that. That's elementary at that point. While it is not clear how the D.C. bar would apply this rule to an attorney, yeah, we do know. D.C., yeah, they try, oh, no big deal, who's also a member of Congress, it rule states that a lawyer, quote, shall not communicate or cause another to communicate about the subject matter of the representation without a person known to be represented by another lawyer in the matter. This appears to be precisely what Representative Cheney did at this time, and within a matter of days of these secretive conversations, Hutchinson would go on to recant her previous testimony and introduce her most outlandish claims. So once they started talking, that's not going to work for us. You got to do it this way. And she's like, okay, I'll do it that way. We were never supposed to know any of this. We were not supposed to know how Liz Cheney was choreographing the entirety of everything that Cassidy Hutchinson was saying. And when Trump would say, I didn't reach across the limo and try to grab the neck of the guy driving, the media didn't care. As you know from Nancy Pelosi describing the wrap-up smear, hey, we've got the statement from the committee that says one of their witnesses, sworn and under oath, said this, so we can use that to basically attack Trump. I have no pity on you people. I hope he sues every media outlet out there. You guys are nothing more than a propaganda arm that does everything you possibly can to attack Republicans, and in this case, MAGA, and especially Trump. You're scum. You are absolutely scum. So let's go over here. Here are the top 10 takeaways from the bombshell new J6 interim report, which you can download. Here's a copy of it. This is the actual report. Came out this morning, hot off the presses. There it is. So this is breaking news. Number one, deleted evidence exonerating Trump and the J6ers. The Pelosi-led J6 Select Committee allegedly failed to archive significant portions of collected evidence, including over 1 terabyte of digital data and video recordings, which I just told you about. Number 2, false communication to congressional leaders. On January 6th, then Secretary McCarthy allegedly deceived congressional leaders by stating the D.C. National Guard was en route. While no other orders had yet been communicated, this misinformation impacted security decisions. Failure of the DoD, Department of Defense, IG report. The DoD IG published a flawed report that omitted key evidence, including fabricated details, and failed to interview critical witnesses. This undermines the integrity of the investigation into the Pentagon's dismissal of presidential orders. This is really deep. I'm spending all this time because it blew up today. It absolutely just blew up. And of course, the media isn't going to cover this. So unless you see or hear or do some investigating on your own, you're not going to hear this most likely by anybody on the news. It's going to be us YouTubers and bloggers and everybody else, because this is such a huge, huge thing for everybody involved in the J6. Now we know for sure, in addition to the testimony before, now we know that Kimberly Wargo, one of our fanfare people here, they were all railroaded. It was all BS. Everything was just set up to take Trump down. Let me take a second and let some of you guys weigh in on here. Some of these people have been in jail for nearly 4 years. It makes Watergate look like a lemonade stand robbery. It does. It really does. The deep state is pulling the strings of these puppets, and all of them are going down. I hope so. This is really, really wrong. Some of these people have been in that basement jail for 4 years, and it's all been fake. You're my favorite news source. Thank you, Sheila. This is unbelievable. I do not believe in Watergate anymore. Yeah, that's possible, because that may have been a complete setup as well. It could have been. It's crazy. J6 was an FBI picnic. We're finding out. And now we're just starting. More and more things are starting to come out. And remember, as you're watching this video, it is December 17th. Trump's not even into office yet, which means Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, they haven't even started digging. Of course he's going to do as many preemptive pardons as he can. This is just like the table setting. You go into a restaurant, you have your silverware out there and your glass of water and some bread waiting for you to come to dinner, waiting for you to eat. Kash and Pam are walking in, and this stuff is just the table setting. They're coming in hungry, drooling, ready to go, and this is sitting right in front of them. I can't even imagine, as an attorney, people say you're going to go after your political opponents. No, I'm just going to read. I'm just going to read this flipping report. I don't really have to do stuff yet. Remember, an attorney needs to know if there's a crime and dig so they can see if there's an investigation that needs to be had. Is there fire under that smoke? And they're sitting in front of smoke. How do you ignore that? You can't. If you are a true, faithful, non-treasonous attorney, you can't look away. I would almost venture to say looking away from this is treasonous. Just ignoring it, knowing all these people are in jail, all these people have had their lives ruined. Some of them, their life you're never getting that time back. There is no way for you to get that time back. There's no way there's a way to get your money back. But some of these people, mentally, who knows what they've gone through. I can't even imagine the size of a check the government is going to have to write to some of these people. When it all is said and done, I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's probably going to be, actually, let me take this back as I'm thinking, as I'm talking. It's probably going to happen very quickly. The reason being is, if Joe gives all these people pardons, there's not going to be much of a trial to have because they're all going to have get out of jail free cards. So in essence, the new Department of Justice and the new FBI can come to conclusions really quick because they're going to pull all this evidence and they can't go any further and arrest these people. So these people should be released on what we found out last week. Unbelievable. Lady McCullough says Trump and his Avengers are just doing the warm-up still before the real thing begins. Yeah, put some youngsters in there. They'll go ahead. That may also be a reason why they're terrified of Elon. Think about that. May not need youngsters. You're talking about the richest man in the world who is technologically way beyond anybody in that congressional committee and anyone they may have hired. He's got the best. So if there's data to be retrieved, he's gonna retrieve it. They must just be salivating and looking at the clock going, we still got a month. And this stuff is coming out. Just imagine that. It's only December 17th. And it seems like every other day, it just keeps coming out more and more. And I still got a bunch to show you. I won't even be able to get to, usually I do the 10 stories at the end. No, I still got a whole bunch to show you. So, can't wait for the nomination. This is why they're going to slow walk the nominations. Because they know these people, you got to know right now, Kash Patel, they're seeing what you're seeing. So imagine that. You and I don't have any power other than sharing it and letting people know these people are scum. Kash Patel, Bondi, Pete Hegseth, they're all going to have the ability to actually do something. And so they're seeing the same thing you're seeing right now. And it's a good question. Do pardons cover military tribunals? I don't know. If they get pardoned, automatically removal from Congress or Senate. I would hope so. I would definitely. Somebody says I got to go to 3 shows a day. Oh, please. I barely see my wife now. The damage they did to these people is unforgivable. And they're still in jail. There's nothing Trump can do. Nothing he can do at this point. And they're not letting... They may let them out on January 19th at, 11:55 p.m. They're gonna squeeze these people like the rinds of a lemon, trying to get every ounce of pain into them. They should get paid compensation dearly, absolutely dearly. Elon will put his magic fishing pole into X, and that loyalty data, lovely data should get hooked. I hope so. Pardons don't work for treason. I checked. Okay, well then you're gonna have to swing for the fence. Go after him big time. All right, so let's continue with, because we had just got down to number 2. Or number 3, rather. So let's go to... No, we only did number 2. Number 3, failures of the DODIG report. The I think we covered this, but I'll say it again. DODIG published a flawed report that omitted key evidence, included fabricated deals, and failed to interview critical witnesses. They undermined the integrity of the investigation into the Pentagon's dismissal of presidential orders. See, I didn't know until I read this morning. I just thought this was the committee and the FBI and the DOJ. I had no idea that the DOD was involved. I mean, I don't know if you guys knew that. Did you know the DOD was involved in this? Number 4, I guess this is why the Pentagon delayed National Guard deployment. The Secretary of the Army, Ryan McCarthy, intentionally delayed the deployment of the D.C. National Guard on January 6, despite receiving approval from the Secretary of Defense at that afternoon. The delay contributed to a slower security response. So, I think that makes it kind of even easier to begin using treason. You absolutely disobeyed an order by the commander-in-chief. It has now been stated and proven. I'd hate to be some of these people. Yeah, you're going to have to get pardons. House leadership delayed the National Guard deployment as well. Capitol Police leadership was hindered by procedural rules requiring Capitol Police board approval for National Guard assistance, which caused delays. Intelligence threat warnings ignored. Additionally, critical intelligence warnings were missed or unaddressed. The subcommittee documented that excessive political concerns over optics, how's this going to look, influenced decision-making, which compromised security preparation response. So now you're talking, they ignored intelligence. Maybe that's why they don't want Tulsi Gabbard in there looking to see what intelligence, as the NSI, what did they ignore? A partisan agenda. The Select Committee was criticized for its partisan composition, exclusion of dissenting voices, and focusing on framing President Trump rather than addressing Capitol security failures. So remember, the only Republicans on this committee were crying, whining Adam Kissinger and lying Liz Cheney. They took the two worst Republicans they could find and said, hey, see, it's bipartisan. We got a couple people here, Republicans. Unbelievable. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Number 8, selective presentation of the witness testimony. The Pelosi-led Select Committee used selectively edited video clips and testimony while failing to release full video recordings of witness interviews. The Democratic Party even brought in Hollywood consultants to dramatize the events. This approach limited transparency and skewed the narrative. It did more than that because they didn't tell everybody. I don't think they told anybody, hey, you're watching a movie. We brought in a Hollywood crew and director to basically put all of this together to make it look like it was what it wasn't, which we know what Hollywood could do. They probably piped in music and colorized it and did all kinds of different things to make it look so bad. Oh, look at what these Trump supporters are doing. Oh, it's horrible. But cut that part out where the police or the guard are letting them in. Go ahead and edit that. I want to know who was directing the director, because there had to have been someone on that committee who was watching the footage, because a Hollywood director wouldn't know as he's watching the footage what he shouldn't show because it may indicate something politically. He's there I'm filming a movie, and I'm going to put some color here. I'm going to darken here, put some shadows, and we're going to cut here. We're going to make it look a bit fast-paced. But he doesn't know to look, hey, that guy there, he's actually Capitol Police, and he's waving people in. Let's go ahead and cut that section out. See, somebody had to have been directing that. Number 9. Failure to follow House rules. The JC Select Committee bypassed House rules regarding fair minority party participation and substituted standard procedures with unprecedented exemptions to consolidate control under the majority. And number 10, the big one. Liz Cheney should be under criminal investigation. Evidence revealed that Liz Cheney engaged in direct communications with Cassidy Hutchinson without her attorney's knowledge, raising ethical issues. The report suggests Hutchinson told at least 8 lies, I'm going to use the word lies, while testifying to Congress. Do you know what, most people know, but do you know what lying to Congress under oath, what that means? Yeah, that means perjury. So, in essence, Cassidy Hutchinson perjured herself. I'm just rewinding the video to the point where we were. She perjured herself on the stand at the behest of Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney told her what to do. Liz Cheney told her how to articulate everything. These people, in my mind, and stuff that you're seeing, and there's so much out there, you're seeing it yourself. We were bamboozled, hoodwinked, whatever word you want to use, lied to, treasonous, traitor, any adjective that you would like to use at this point, they did it. And these people are sitting in jail and have been sitting in jail for quite some time. I can't even imagine how much money Trump has lost. Imagine that. Imagine how much money Trump has lost. And it's still not done. So let's continue with what John Solomon found.
Revelations in here. The report also says that Jack Smith colluded with the January 6th committee, but that some of the evidence has not yet been turned over to Congress.
So remember, that's a whole different case. Just like Fannie Willis started, dealing with Jack Smith. Now you got these guys doing it as well. It was all an act. It was all conducted by somebody to make it look a certain way and bring all these different cases into cohesion.
Demanding that evidence be turned over, something that might happen when the new administration takes over. But a really significant and rare moment for Congress to actually suggest that one of its members should be criminally prosecuted for tampering with a witness in an official government proceeding, a House hearing, the January 6th House hearing. As you remember, Cassidy Hutchinson was the bombshell witness for the Democrats, claimed that Donald Trump tried to commandeer the presidential limousine taken to the Capitol. We now know that wasn't true. The Secret Service had already told Liz Cheney it wasn't true. She presented the evidence anyways to the American public, tried to give it credence. There's some other testimony where Cassidy Hutchinson talks about a document she claims she wrote it. She didn't. Someone else wrote it. All of that is laid out in this report. But the headline is Liz Cheney could be facing an FBI criminal investigation based on this information that Congress has transmitted this morning.
Let me just go ahead and, John, fill that in. You can take the may part out of it. She will be facing a criminal investigation. The only way she won't is if she gets a pardon before Trump gets into office.
John, a quick follow-up real quick. I'm looking at witness tampering, obviously a federal crime, up to potentially 20 years in prison if this is witness tampering.
A very serious allegation. And as we now know from the reporting we did a few months ago, Liz Cheney was communicating to Cassidy Hutchinson around her lawyer. She was represented by a lawyer. When you go out and reach out to someone around their lawyer, you're violating the D.C. bar ethics, which, by the way, Liz Cheney was a barred lawyer in D.C., so she was obligated to follow those rules. But it goes beyond that. It suggests that she was trying to influence the testimony, get her to say things that would make Donald Trump look worse. This is a very serious allegation from Chairman Barry Loudermilk, the head of this committee, the guy who's run the counter January 6th investigation that has found so many things we were denied and not told about in the earlier probe. But a really significant moment today. And you're right. If the FBI were to pursue charges, this would be a very serious crime and one that could carry some serious prison time.
John, apart from Liz Cheney, you mentioned another name that I think is pretty big, Jack Smith. You said that he's named in this report. No referral for Jack Smith, but your expectation is that under Kash Patel, the FBI then would also be investigating him?
You see where this rabbit hole is going? I can't get too excited. I feel excited, but I can't get too excited because I just know these people are about to get a get out of jail free card. What a vast criminal conspiracy these people put together for one man. All of this, they needed to stop one man. And now we also know that, what's his name? Jack Smith had his little fingers in the case with Fannie Willis. And Fannie Willis and Nathan Wade were coordinating with the White House. And we know that Judge Merchan, one of the prosecutors that worked with Alvin Bragg, came from Merrick Garland's office. Everybody in the media ignored it. But I don't know if you guys knew, but the guy who was coordinating the prosecution in New York was number 2 or 3 in the Department of Justice, and he stepped down because all of a sudden he wanted to go work second seat in New York in a local case. This was so, I can't even imagine the board that they must have had and how they were plotting all of this out and how they were going to get Trump in so many different ways. I mean, just, was it this morning, or let's see when it happened? Yep, this morning at 11 o'clock, Trump decided he's going to put something out as well in regards to all this. Trump posted this. Breaking. And this is what he wrote. This was at 10:44 this morning. In a completely illegal, psychotic order, the deeply conflicted, corrupt, biased, and incompetent acting Justice Juan Merchan has completely disrespected the United States Supreme Court and its historic decision on immunity. But even without immunity, this illegitimate case is nothing but a rigged hoax. Merchan, who is a radical partisan, wrote in an opinion that is knowingly unlawful, goes against our Constitution, and if allowed to stand, would be the end of the presidency as we know it. He's not just talking about his. He's talking about the presidency as an office in America, which is what the Marxists want. They don't want a president. They want to be able to run it, from a parliamentary type thing. Merchan has so little respect for the Constitution that he is keeping in place an illegal gag order on me, your president and president-elect, just so I can't expose his and his family's disqualifying and illegal conflicts. If I were Trump on January 20th at about, 12:02, I would say, hey, Merchan, F you, and just say it all. How are you going to put a gag order on a president? I would say, blah, 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 and I dare you, Merchan, to try and come arrest me. I dare you to hold me in contempt. I almost think that's what Trump's going to do. You think you're gagging the president of the United States? Do you really think that's going to hold up? Do you think I'm going to allow you to do that? No, hell no. No, that's not going to happen. It ain't going to happen at all. He continues. Let me get to the second part. This is just a continuation of what he just wrote. I am the only political opponent in American history not allowed to defend myself. A despicable First Amendment violation. Merchan took the Manhattan DA's witch hunt that, according to all legal scholars, including Jonathan Turley, Eli Honig, and so on, and many others, is a non-existent case barred by the statute of limitations and should have never been brought, and through his fraud and misconduct gave it a semblance of life, while deranged, here comes the name, Jack Smith, was sent packing back to The Hague after losing all of his politically manufactured cases against me. Merchan, who is far worse and even more corrupt than Smith in his fight for my hopeless political opponents, just cannot let go of this charade. Is it because of his conflicts and relations that he keeps breaking the law? This has to stop. It is time to end the lawfare once and for all so we can come together as one nation and make America great again. You got to think at this point, Merchan, you're opening yourself up and your daughter. You worried about people coming after you? Oh, they're going to come at this point. And all of us are going to cheer as it happens. The Democrats have dug their heels in here, and they've decided that they can't extricate. They're just going to keep coming for Trump and his supporters and do whatever they possibly can to make sure it is that he can't execute what he wants to execute. Jonathan Turley wrote about it as well. And let me see if I can find what he wrote. Now, he's talking about, the pardons that Dementia Joe has been given out. And check this out. Some of Biden's pardons are so inexplicable that they border on taunting. Biden was the focus of an alleged multi-million-dollar influence peddling operation. He not only pardoned his son of any such crimes, but pardoned a judge and a comptroller for corrupting their own offices. I only post that to show you, again, how big this criminal enterprise is. This mafia of an administration and what they've done. And it doesn't seem like any of them want to take any culpability and say, we've gone far enough here. We've destroyed the credibility of America. You lost. Accept it. Be men and women. You lost. And whatever you say about Trump losing before, he didn't have all this. All this is happening right now. And it gets worse. Did you guys know tomorrow the government funding expires? So as of tomorrow, unless Mike Johnson caves, the Democrats don't have enough money to finish the year. And everybody, including Ron Paul, have come out and said, just shut it down. You got 30 days. Shut it down. Don't give him $50 gazillion because they're asking for like $50 billion for the next 30 days. Shut it down. It can't hurt us. Trump will be here on January 20th. The new Congress will get sworn in. But here's another thing. I'm going to put this to you and we're going to take some more comments. I know I've been talking a lot. If the government is shut down, how are they going to do the inauguration? Is this all a ploy to get the Republicans to shut the government down? I don't know. I mean, we are at a crux here where I'm trying to figure out what in the hell is going on in this country. How is Joe Biden sending all this money over here and doing all this, and now we're talking about a government shutdown right before the inauguration of the new president? And even if they say, okay, we'll give you $50 billion, you can bet your sweet bippy they will try to spend every dime before January 20th. Maybe you shut it down to January 19th. But then, Democrats are in power, they say, oh, we're not going to agree to it. I don't know how that works. Don't know how that works at that point, but shut it down. And here's now Rand Paul has come out and said he will delay the passage of any massive omnibus spending bill if it passes the House, which would result in a government shutdown if the bill is not passed by Friday. This is a lot. This is so much. Let's finish up with John Solomon.
There is some evidence that Congress is trying to get its hands on that suggests that Jack Smith was colluding and working with the Democrats to take down Donald Trump. They don't have the evidence. They know what it is. They're seeking it from the FBI and the Justice Department. The hope is, in this report expressed, that when the new administration comes over, Congress will finally get that evidence and will know exactly what it was that Jack Smith was doing with the Justice Department, with the J6 committee. Remember, we also believe that Jack Smith may have had contacts, as did the Biden White House, with some of these local prosecutors in Georgia and New York. So
this is absolutely crazy. I mean, I started digging into this wormhole this morning and going, oh boy, this is a whole bunch of stuff. This is a whole bunch of stuff that, and again, I doubt you'll hear any of it on the media. I mean, it's only Tuesday, so there's a lot of time for people to be talking about it, but they can't. This is danger zone for the Democrats. So what I'm going to do is take a second here and pay some bills, and then we'll come back with a quick talk about some of the comments. This sponsorship here is from Rumble. When Rumble first started in 2013, they built the platform for the small creator. They didn't censor or have biases. They were fair and treated all creators equally. No one thought platforms would censor political conversation or censor opinions about COVID. But they did. Facebook admitted they fell to pressure from the Biden-Harris administration, but Rumble did not. They held the line. They are attacked daily for giving us a voice to talk to you. They are attacked in corporate media. They are attacked by governments like France. They are attacked from brand advertisers who refuse to work with them, which is why I want to continue working with Rumble. Corporate America is fighting to remove speech. Rumble is fighting to keep it. Rumble won't survive with brand advertisers. They don't get much of it. Watching our show on Rumble is the most they can ask from you, but if you really believe in this fight and you have the means, one major way you can help Rumble survive is by joining Rumble Premium. Join a community that believes in the First Amendment and believes in our human rights to free speech. Rumble is offering $10 off with the promo code STUDIO when you purchase an annual subscription. Go to rumble.com/premium and use the promo code STUDIO. And like I said, if you have the means, and believe in the cause, now is the time to join Rumble Premium. If you don't have the means, we are just happy for you to continue watching our show on Rumble. And I do mean that. I appreciate everything the guys at Rumble are doing. Some of the interviews that I end up having can't be shown on, YouTube. And we've got some stuff coming up that we know we can't show on YouTube. So thank you to the guys at Rumble who have been helping me out. I know Dan Bongino's got a big interest in it. The people at Rumble have been extremely good to work with. I didn't know it was going to be like that on Rumble. So we do have an alternative. If you can, work with them, work with them. If you want to see it, or if you want to create content yourself, either way. But I appreciate them, and it's been fun. So with that being said, let me talk to you about Lear Capital, and then we're going to take some comments. If you see what's going on in the world right now and what may happen here in America, you may want to prepare and pay attention. You know that Lear Capital is a big supporter of this show. If you want to be protected in the event that things go off the wall, I advise you to look into buying gold and silver. We are all just one catastrophic event away from the value of the American dollar plunging. Do you know what's not plunging? Gold and silver. I'm telling you now, make sure that you have some form of your money invested in precious metals. Lear Capital will ship your gold or your silver coins directly to your house. It's not just a certificate. You can store them in your gun safe, or you can store them off-site in a 24-hour protected facility. It's totally up to you. But when things go crazy here or across the world, the value of the American dollar is going to decline. It's inevitable, and it might not even take a war. We may do it to ourselves. And I mean, if the Federal Reserve plays around with interest rates, the US dollar will likely decline in value as well. Meanwhile, you'll see gold and silver continue to rise in value. If you call Lear Capital, they will take the time to educate you and answer all of your questions about gold and silver. Just give them a call at 800-601-5430 or go to Learberry, that's me, Learberry.com to download your free de-dollarization report. You should know that Lear Capital is an American company. If you call them today, you'll be speaking with people right here in the United States. Now is the time to take action. Call 800-601-5430 or go to Learberry.com. And when you call, ask them how you can get up to $15,000 in bonus gold with a qualifying purchase. There's absolutely no obligation to buy anything. Just free information on protecting your hard-earned dollars with gold and silver. When you think about it, you're actually not buying anything. You're simply going to be exchanging dollars for gold, moving currency. Give them a call today. Tell them Barry sent you. And as we are basically a week away from Christmas, I think these make some great Christmas presents. I mean, here's a little bit of gold, and here's an ounce of silver, and all three of my grandkids are getting one of these. And, they're good, and they do the right thing, and Santa decides he wants to get them a couple more. Yeah, we can get them some silver, stuff that begin building their portfolio, as small as it may be. But once they understand, once they get their hands on this, and Ashley will have to hide it from them or basically put it in a home safe or something. But once they see this, it'll get some questions. Hey, what is that? Is that real? Like, yeah, that's real. That's real silver, and it's got friends. and you start putting this stuff away. You're not going to get rich on it. It's like $30, $32 an ounce or whatever, but it's good stuff for the kids. Get them learning about investing. All right, here we go. Barry's opening early Christmas for all the patriots with this good news. Man, there's a lot. There's so much. Treason cannot be pardoned. Thank you for telling me that. I did not know that. So, yeah, I think at this point, these preemptive pardons aren't going to mean anything. The government let all these people go to jail for nothing. Just to stop Trump. They were willing to throw all these people in jail on misdemeanors. Basically trespassing. Trump can be inaugurated in private. The official ceremony can come later. I'm good with that. If they shut down, the government, it will cut funding to the drones. That would be interesting. If all of a sudden all the drones stopped, like on Friday afternoon, then y'all gotta know. Then we'll absolutely know. Cassidy Hutchinson needs to go down. God has a liar. We need accountability. Yeah. At this point, Trump should go to the Supreme Court and stop the preemptive pardons for sure. Barry, the new Congress and Senate take office January 3rd. Okay, gotcha. They're all PDF files. I know what you're saying with right there. How can you pardon anyone before they're even tried and convicted? Forget tried and convicted. They haven't even been charged. The preemptive pardoning is saying, hey, they may have done something wrong, and we're going to just make sure everybody is in free. Everybody's free. Nobody's going to get any charges even brought against them. Which is, I don't even know how you could do that. You don't even know what the charges are. Crazy. Let's see what else here. Private inauguration. Don't start getting soft on the Democrat crime mob now. Nope, put them all away. What do we got here? Liz gets a 400-pound... we need to give Liz a 400-pound Libyan cellmate. Oh my God, is Obama getting a pardon? No, Obama doesn't need a pardon. Should, but he's got that same immunity Trump has, which Merchan doesn't want to acknowledge. Which, at that point, if Merchan doesn't want to acknowledge presidential immunity, then you're pretty much saying that Biden and Obama are open game. Right? Because you're saying they're not immune. I hate saying that. Excuse me. If there's no presidential immunity for Trump, then there's no presidential immunity for Obama and Biden. Pretty simple. So just charge them and say, hey, Judge Merchan said it's okay. This seems like an abuse of presidential power. I think we've lived 4 years of presidential power abuse. Where was this a report from? The report was from, let me see if I closed the link, but it was, let me do this. Let me pull up the history so I can pull it back up. One question. I knew it. I knew as soon as I shut it down, somebody was like, well, what was that? All right, here is the actual report cover. Put this over here. And the report is, some guy turned it into a video. Hold on. It is the interim report on the failures and politicization of the January 6th Select Committee, prepared at direction of Chairman Barry Loudermilk of the 118th Congress, posted today, December 17th, 2024. So this stuff is hot off the presses. There's no reason why the media shouldn't be reporting on this, except the media won't be reporting on this. It doesn't do them any good to start talking about it. They are not going to want to bring this up right before the inauguration. They don't want to do it. I'm looking to see if there's anything else about it. No, I'm looking around, and the only people talking about it are conservatives. It's just like it doesn't even exist to these other people. They don't even want to know about it. Looking around, nope. I like what Jack Pozo said. Jack Posobiec said he always knew it was going to be Hutchinson that brought him down. Where is that? I always knew it would be the Hutch that brought them down. I always knew. It's a bombshell. It is an absolute bombshell. She committed perjury. She was working with Liz Cheney. That in itself should get a whole bunch of people handcuffs. Benny Thompson, you had to have known. You were running the whole scam. You were the chairman of the January 6th committee. All of you that were involved in this deserve to go down. Absolutely. Oh, Barry, guess what was spotted by a commercial airline pilot at Bradley Airport? Is that Bradley in Connecticut? A drone. Can we get the news media files? Yeah, I'd love to get some of that news media files. Everyone, this is a good idea. Everyone should start calling Mike Johnson's office, telling him to shut it down or else. We are sick of them stealing from us. Definitely. Hold. Definitely got to hold. Stealing, it's incredible. Absolutely incredible. All right, so let me move on to story number 2. We're already an hour and 15 minutes in, so like I said, I can't do the 10. I'll do that tonight. But this next story is going to probably tick you off as well, but may not because you probably already knew about it. And it's just, again, the media, as recently as Kristen Welker in the interview with Trump, lied to the American people. They've been caught again. And why did that not go? Okay, hold on. Okay, here we go.
On top of that, we have millions of people pouring into our country from prisons and jails, from mental institutions and insane asylums, and they're coming in and they're taking jobs that are occupied right now by African Americans and Hispanics, and also unions. Unions are going to be affected very soon.
I hate that smirk. I don't think there's much I hated more than watching her with that smirk, with that smug look that she had. The entirety of the debate. She didn't even look like the same person. They went in and did all Hollywood up on her. They did her hair specifically for a certain way, and she just was told, just look at him with complete disdain. And he was speaking fact. Speaking fact.
And you see what's happening. You see what's happening with towns throughout the United States. You look at Springfield, Ohio. You look at Aurora in Colorado. They are taking over the towns. They're taking over buildings. They're going in violently. These are the people that she and Biden led into our country. And
remember when all this was happening? This is their debate. And right after, everybody in the media was like, oh, it's not happening. But we see it happening. Oh, no, it's not happening. But they're eating the dogs and the cat. Nope, your eyes are deceiving you. But there's actual video of them kicking in the front doors of apartments with guns. Hey, you don't know what you're seeing. You stupid people. You can't believe your eyes.
They're destroying our country. They're dangerous. They're at the highest level of criminality, and we have to get them out. We have to get them out fast.
But guess what, guys? The Harris Walz campaign is actually going on the record supporting illegal immigrant gangs that they let into our country. Think about that. Don't believe me? Just listen to Tim Walz in his own words. This is not edited. It's not a deep fake. Make sure you're sharing it. Walz says that my father's vow to deport these criminal illegals is putting the ruthless gangs at risk. These people are freaking insane. They're nuts. Watch this.
I would ask them honest questions, and they asked him, why are you and J.D. Vance making up stories about people who are in this country legally, putting them at risk, spreading disgusting...
I would like to know if anyone did any security at any of these events, and tell me, are these real people in the audience? I mean, I never went to a Kamala event. I never went to a Tim Walz event. But I can't believe that these people are not robots. I don't know if they've got masks on or something where they're not really people, but I have to wonder where your brain stopped as you were listening to this guy talk about we need to protect the gangs and all the other ludicrous stuff that they were saying.
Untrue stories about folks in Springfield, Ohio, Aurora, Colorado. That's what he's been doing. It tells you just about everything you need to know about this. These lies that they're saying, Republican officials are telling them to stop it. And then they tell lies about the Republican officials who tell them to quit telling lies, because that's who they are. But look, let's be honest. There are outsiders coming into communities, stealing and moving jobs away, and making life harder for people living there. And they have names, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. That's who they are. That is who's going there.
Remember when Nancy Pelosi defended MS-13 during my father's first term? Remember he called them animals and she was like, no, they're not animals, they're humans, they're wonderful people. Now Walz is doing the same thing with Venezuelan gangs, taking over apartment complexes.
In honor of Jocelyn, Nungari, Lakin, Riley, beautiful Lakin, Rachel, Morin, and all of the others that are dead and or mortally wounded at the hands of migrants who should never have been allowed into our country, I'm announcing today that upon taking office, we will have an Operation Aurora at the federal level. To expedite the removals of these savage gangs, and I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Think of that. 1798. This was put there. 1798. That's a long time ago, right? To target and dismantle every migrant criminal network operating on American soil. Who would have ever thought that a president or future president would ever have to stand here and say such things? Who would think that that's even possible to have to do? So many things are changed in the last 4 years, but that's the state of our country now after Kamala and Joe Biden have just absolutely destroyed our country.
A lot of women that support Trump, especially with...
So while they were telling everybody in the news that it wasn't happening, many of you joined me for the Aurora, Colorado rally where it actually was happening. This lady and her family are talking about specifically what was happening in Aurora.
Men who have kids, families, and what's going on in Aurora. I'm a native of Colorado. It's happening, it's real, it's here. And our governor says it's not real, it's real. It's not in our imagination, it's happening.
What is it that you're saying that's real?
The gangs, all that kind of stuff, it's everywhere. It's in Aurora. It's throughout the suburbs. They're spreading.
Isn't that a scary part? I've
insane. My son's a landscaper. I mean, he's had stuff stolen. They're stealing. The crime is outrageous. You call the police, they don't come. They don't come. It'll take 2 hours. Like, they don't come.
Just imagine the media, the culpability of the media, who were out there telling people it's not true. Trump is lying. They had to have known it was true. They had the same videos and they saw the same interviews that we saw. But instead, they went on television every single night throughout the entirety of the campaign while it was happening and said, it ain't happening. How much danger did they put people in by saying it wasn't happening? Joy Reid, Rachel Maddow, all of them, they kept saying it was, hey, what are you talking about? There's nothing going on. The governor, hey, there's nothing going on. They all lied. Every single one of them lied. And then this happened today.
Aurora, Colorado now. This is a live look now. The sun is up there in that state, and police have now detained 14 people and reported armed home invasion. That's the same apartment complex where a lot of people were complaining about the armed Venezuelan gang members roaming the halls.
I want you to look at the date of the cut on the right. The date on the cut on the right, in case you guys can't see, it is August 18th, which is one of the best days in American history because that happens to be my birthday. So y'all need to mark that down and remember that. But anyway, August 18th was the cut on the right. Exactly, 4 months ago. Today being December 17th. 4 months. 4 months it had been going on, and people in the news were saying it didn't happen. Even though, as you can see right there, they're breaking into an apartment. We were watching this with our own eyes in August. And we were told by the media, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never seen nothing. This can't possibly be happening. Not in America. You guys are all making it up. It's some Trumpsters. It's that cult that Trump is leading. It's not happening. There's people in Aurora going on television on the other stations and going, yeah, the crime is crazy. I personally know somebody who knows somebody. I couldn't bring him on because I don't like to know somebody hearsay, but I trust this person was correct, and he knew the apartment manager who got his butt whooped in Aurora. The guy left and goes, I'm going back to Florida. This is crazy. I just know in Florida, this ain't ever happening. And if it happened or you tried to make it happen, it would be over in about a couple hours. Because if the people in the apartment complex didn't take care of it, I know some people were coming who would take care of it. But for the most part, I'm pretty sure the people there would probably take care of it. So when you're up there in Aurora, Colorado, where, I don't know what the rules are, but you're pretty much at the mercy of the bad guys, that's what happened 4 months ago. And so today, it just went crazy.
Reports indicate that investigators said that several suspects entered the apartment and had two people inside. The suspects then reportedly moved the victims to another apartment complex, or rather another unit on the property where police said they were found threatened and bound. An adult man sustained a non-life-threatening stab wound.
It was a male and a female.
All right, so this is, I think, the chief of police in the area. And what he's going to say in this interview, not only does it underscore everything Trump said, again, here is somebody basically going to, no, not basically, he's going to tell you the Democrats caused all of this.
Female, they were accosted by approximately 13 to 15 armed individuals. They were pistol whipped, they were beat, they were mistreated. One of the male was actually stabbed, he had a stab wound. So does that fall in the category of torture for me? Yeah, it does. There is a high assumption that they may be affiliated with the TDA gang. I had a
TDA, that's the Tres Leches gang.
Discussion with an individual from the White House. And that occurred back on September the 23rd, I believe. And that person basically told me that, hey, once these immigrants get across the border, that's all we really care about.
Let me see if I can rewind that. I want you to hear that again, because you need to hear this.
With an individual from the White House. And that occurred back on September the 23rd, I believe. And that person basically told me that, hey, once these immigrants get across the border, that's all we really care about.
We don't care that they're in gangs. We don't care that they're violent. We don't care that they may be trafficking drugs or some other kind of contraband, even the walking kind. We don't care. Once they get here, we don't care. You actually told the chief of police of a town in September, 2 months before an election. Remember, the election was November 5th. He was told in September, we don't care what these people do. Why are you bothering me with this? We got them here. It's up to you. Why did the media not have this guy on every nightly newscast for months saying, listen to what he has to say? He's telling you what Trump said. He's telling you what the resident said. The White House, not, up top, the White House told him, we don't give a shit. So, excuse my language. Not my problem. We got him here. It's up to you now. Can you imagine the absolute audacity to tell a chief of police in the country that you're presiding over, I don't care. That's not my problem. But you're the president. You're the White House. Tough. Deal with it. We got them here. That was my objective. I don't really care what they do once they're here. Not my words. Not my words at all. That is the chief of police of Aurora. I'm going to let you hear it one more time, just so it sinks in as he tells the story.
And that occurred back on September the 23rd, I believe. And that person basically told me that, hey, once these immigrants get across the border, that's all we really care about.
Why did we not know this in September and October? Why was this hidden? I'm not worried about the media getting sued. I hope you sue every single media outlet. I hope you put them all out of business. I also want to know why Mr. Police Chief, why you didn't call other people. Why you didn't call Rogan? Why didn't you call some of these big audiences? You could have called me. Why the hell did you shut up? Oh, were you told to shut up? Did somebody come to you like the governor and say, that's it, you're done. Don't mention that again. I think people would have loved to have known that our president, the White House, somebody in the White House was speaking on behalf of Joe, said, tough turkey. Now toodles, deal with it. We don't care. Our job was to get them here. I want you to let that sink in for a second. As we're waiting for an inauguration on January 20th, as we're watching people freak out about drones, as we're seeing people line up to get back in here, as we see Biden trying to sell off pieces of the wall, as we see them getting ready to pass this gazillion-dollar bill to try and steal more money, as we watch them send every single dime they can to Zelensky, you now have proof that your current government couldn't care less about you. When I heard that, I got chills. What that man just said. We don't care. We got him here. It's your problem. That tells me somebody lined their pockets. You see, the transaction took place. Whatever it was that these cartels or whoever wanted to have happen, it was just confirmed. We need to move these bodies. We need to keep it going. Do whatever we need to do. Get the bodies in. Don't stop the train at this point. That's where the money is.
Yeah, gang. I had a discussion with an individual from the White House, and that occurred back on September the 23rd, I believe. And that person basically told me that, hey, once these immigrants get across the border, that's all we really care about.
That's it. That's the punchline. I won't play it again, won't bore you, but you can tell your friends, you can tell your family, your government sold you out. How many stories like that from across the country are now going to come out from police chiefs and mayors? I mean, you see Eric Adams, right? Maybe that's why this guy didn't speak out then. Eric Adams like, what in the hell y'all doing? We can't have all these people on the street here in New York City. You can't. I'm indicted? Was that the modus of operandi? Was it to the fact of, we're going to shove these people in your community and you're going to shut the hell up and deal with it? And if you talk, my boy here, Merrick, is going to drop an indictment on you. And then we're going to crawl up your butt and do whatever we can. As soon as I heard him say that, I thought about Eric Adams. Remember, Eric Adams started complaining about all the newcomers being shoved into New York. We can't keep doing this. blah, 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 blah. Bam, here's your indictment. Whoa. And so you have to wonder, after hearing this man now, who now feels comfortable speaking out, telling you the truth, we don't care. These crappy Americans, but they're liberals. We don't even care about liberals. This is Aurora, Colorado. This isn't like, Alabama somewhere. This isn't Louisiana. This isn't Texas or Florida. This is deep blue Aurora. And they're admitting to the chief of police, we don't give a crap about the liberals either. Talk about being bamboozled. But their safety. How do we make sure they're okay? I don't care.
And to me, that's a problem.
Wow, those are powerful words. That was the police chief in Aurora, Colorado, detailing a nightmare inside the walls of an apartment complex known to be home to members of that notorious Venezuelan gang, Tren de Aragua. More than a dozen suspects breaking into an apartment where they tied up, pistol whipped, and even stabbed 2 innocent victims. I can barely believe it as we say it.
I don't think you guys believe it either. But Trump was right. Trump was 100% right, and I don't know how the media ignored it. I have no patience for them. I hope they all lose their jobs. I don't usually wish ill things upon people, but at this point, they really didn't care about what happened to you or me or our families. They had one agenda, and it was to flood as many people into this country as humanly possible, and whatever they did when they got here, we don't care. And your job is to make sure people don't talk about it. Don't say a word. We'll indict you. And you news people, here's a couple $1 million, say it didn't happen. Just completely gaslight everybody. Karine Jean-Pierre, you get up there on the speech, it didn't happen. But we have people who are telling us, they don't know what they're talking. They live there. Nope, didn't happen. Crazy. I believe you. What the hell did these media troglodytes think was going to happen? They thought Trump was going to lose. And they thought at this point that they would probably get paid off and that would be it. I'm going to invite Tom Homan to my home for proof in person in Calistoga, California. Can't believe, where was that? Can't believe that the media is not covering the Aurora story. Nope, you won't see it. People getting basically kidnapped, stabbed by a gang in their homes. In their homes. And they look the other way. It's got to be happening in Chicago. They never asked Biden Harris about the 500 missing kids. Not a word. And it wasn't until I heard that chief of police actually say it that I realized at that point, yes, the 500,000 kids, they don't care. Because if they don't care about people having their homes invaded, all we need to do is get them here. So you're working on someone's behalf. It's crazy. Yeah, that's treason. One of the guys from Venezuela admitted on camera that where'd that go? That they eat the cats for here in America. He said they eat them where he's from, but not the dogs. It's getting crazy. We got to get there. Thanks, Barry, for bringing us the real news. Even if we don't want to hear it, we need to know. Absolutely. Where to find that video, Barry? Which one are you talking about? The one with the chief of police? That was on Fox. That was a Fox News report. In fact, it's all over Twitter. Yeah, I think. Let me just see. I mean, Twitter almost has a better search engine than Google, because Google will basically not show you certain results. But let me see. I'm just going to put in police chief Aurora and see if it pops up, and you guys can see it. Yep, there he is right there. He's talking about it. It's the same press conference, but from a different angle. In fact, this one's 3 minutes and 45 seconds long. Let me see if I can download this. This one's longer, so we can actually hear him say the entire thing. Because that was only like a 45-second cut from Fox News. Let me go ahead and bring this in. Once it downloads. So I can do this stuff on the fly and get us going here. All right, so let me bring this into the software, and we can listen to the entire, well, not the entire, but at least 3 minutes and 45 seconds worth of him talking. It should be quite enlightening to see how bad this really is. All right, give me a second. Put my ears back in, and then I can hit the button. All right, so. All right, here we go. We're going to be able to hear the whole thing right now.
I want to break down an event that occurred last night, and I think without question it has national attention based on the circumstances of where the event actually occurred and based upon the incidences that have been in the city of Aurora in the past in and around this same location. Last night, right at about 8:45 p.m. At 1258 Dallas Street, victims, it was a male and a female, they were accosted by approximately 13 to 15 armed individuals. 13 of those were males, and 3 of those were possibly females at this time, is what we were thinking. They were taken to an adjoining apartment complex against their will at that same Dallas complex, and they ended up at 1268 Dallas. Again, this was the same complex, same area. The victims were held against their will. They were actually bound, both the male and the female. They were pistol whipped.
Isn't that considered kidnapping? I mean, you just defined kidnapping. They were held against their will. So I think in certain states that can even be a capital crime. And if they are newcomers, they get the express ticket.
They were beat, they were victimized, they were terrorized. During this entire process, some of the suspects left that apartment complex at 1268 Dallas and went over to the victim's apartment, which was located at 1258 Dallas, and actually burglarized and took over that apartment and took out about items of value that belonged to our victims. And subsequently they came back. Right around 1:50 in the morning, our victims, with communication and with courage, basically informed the suspects that they would not notify the police if they were released, and could they please be released. Our victims were subsequently released. They left at a complex right around 1:50. They went to their vehicle and they drove to a friend's house located in another area of the city of Aurora. Once at that location, the victims notified the police right at about 02:27. I think that is something that is truly amazing. These individuals that are the victims, at this point it appears that they are immigrants that came again with the Venezuelan community that was brought here. The fact that they stepped forward, I think it shows again the incredible amount of courage that they had. Unfortunately, when you look at this type of activity, especially when you consider all of the individuals involved in this are most likely Venezuelan, most of them are without question or most likely, we believe at this point, undocumented or immigrants to the city of Aurora. Again, unfortunately,
I gotta believe this guy was threatened, just like Eric Adams. There's no reason why a guy whose entire job is to protect people wasn't talking about this months ago. Somebody said something to him, because now he's holding a press conference and he's laying it out there. I'm just going to tell you, these people are newcomers. They're doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Where were you a few months ago? And now, if you feel comfortable, you should come out and tell Trump, Kash Patel, Bondi, somebody, what were you threatened with? Because obviously he wanted to talk. He's talking now. He's definitely spilling the beans. So why weren't you talking back then, before the election?
these individuals, like many gangs and many individuals involved in this type of activity, they victimize their own race and their own ethnicity. And the reason they do that is because they are easy victims. Because they know because of their status they will not come forward to the police. They know that they can mistreat them. They know that they can do things to them that they couldn't do to anybody else in the community based upon their fear of what the ramifications would be if law enforcement gets involved in that. So for the fact that they stepped forward and made this decision to call us, again, I appreciate that, and I cannot tell them how much I am thankful that they had the courage to do that. I also want to make sure that you understand something that we have been trying to do since the beginning of this, and that is have outreach with that community particularly. I want to make sure that anybody, whether documented or undocumented, knows that they can call law enforcement and we will respond and we will serve them the best that we possibly can. There is no place in this country, there is no place in this city where somebody should be victimized or mistreated based upon their documentation status.
All right, well, it's happening, and Trump was proven right once again. Before I let you go, I got one more story. This one's quick. It won't take you a long time, so I won't hold you here too much longer. Joe Biden and the Biden White House and Harris were targeting Elon Musk in a really big way in conjunction with the media. This dropped today. What time did this drop? Okay, here's another one. This is December 17th at 12:15 p.m. Here we go again. Breaking. Biden paid Reuters $300 million to target Elon's companies. $300 million. Let me stop there for a second. Do you now see why the media was so in the tank for the Democrats? This is just one media outlet. We always wondered, how are these people staying on air? There's nobody watching your stations. There's no possible way you can be surviving. I beat most of them with my broadcast. I'm a little guy here in Boca, and I beat most of the major networks in terms of live broadcasts. Benny, he beats them. Patrick Bet-David, he beats them. Dan Bongino, he crushes them. How are these people making $20 million a year talking to nobody? I'm like, how do I get that gig? How do I get to talk to, nobody and get paid gazillions of dollars? Between the pharmaceuticals and the Biden administration, they were cutting huge flipping checks. Reuters doesn't even have a television network. Reuters got $300 million, one outlet, to target Elon's companies. The Biden administration gave $300 million in government contracts to Reuters, with 11 federal agencies investigating Elon's businesses, including Tesla, SpaceX, and X. During this time, Reuters received millions from these agencies and won a Pulitzer Prize for reporting on misconduct at Elon's companies. This means you, the taxpayer, funded media attacks on Elon. It's a coordinated effort to undermine one of America's most innovative leaders. Elon keeps building and winning, and they keep scheming. And it was Mike Benz who actually is good. We have an interview with Mike on Friday. This Mike, yeah, we're going to be talking to him. But you check it out. In 2024, well, you can't see it. It's too big. So let me go back. In 2024, Reuters won a Pulitzer for reporting on Elon Musk. And I guess this is the network in terms of how they were reporting their investigations. The Department of Transportation, Department of Justice, Department of Labor, Department of Interior, Agriculture, and all these agencies were all cross-referencing and basically investigating Elon. Unbelievable. $300 million. Elon's like, that's insane. That's some chump change. I'm gonna destroy the woke mind virus. How many people have seen this? 3.9 million since then. Our government, using your dollars, 300 million of them, to attack Elon Musk. Let me go here. Breaking. This was at 1:45. the Biden administration reportedly ordered 11 federal agencies to look into Elon Musk and his companies, per Mike Benz, executive director of the Foundation of Freedom Online. We're going to have a lot to talk about on Friday, Mike. All 11 agencies allegedly paid millions to Reuters, who later did work on Elon Musk and misconduct at his businesses, per the Pulitzer Prize. Unreal. Unbelievable. And then when they found out, NBC News, as they normally would do, decided they were going to run a hit piece against Mike Benz. A conservative crusader against online censorship appears to have a secret history as an alt-right persona. Frame Game, the pseudonym of an alt-right internet personality, hid his face while pushing racist conspiracy theories. Inadvertent slips revealed details about his identity. Oh, conspiracy theory. That's how you always respond. That's how they always say, oh, he's one of those Q people or something. Your government, my government, has been doing some of the most nefarious things, well, for quite some time. Let's be honest. Our government has been crap and crapping on us for many, 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 many years. And so now Trump came in. He's no longer has any of the swamp rats around him. And that's why they're terrified. He's basically going to and will uncover all of this stuff. And they're not liking it whatsoever. And every single day, it seems like we find out a little bit more, a little bit more. Last week we heard about the January 6th thing. And today we hear, this week we're finding out about the entire committee was wrong. And they were coordinating with Cassidy Hutchinson and Alyssa Farah, who's on The View. It's all coming out. I don't know who's putting it out there, but it's all beginning to come out. And we're still, checks notes, 1 month away from inauguration. All of this is basically coming out right now, daily. That's why I decided to do these daily briefings, because there's so much. And that's why I do 2 of them a day, because, I think it'll slow down as we get closer to Christmas. I don't know. It's been fast and furious. It does slow down a little bit on the weekends. But my gosh, we're a week out from Christmas, and news just keeps pummeling, happening. Just so a little update here. 19th. So today is Tuesday the 17th. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 19th, 20, 21, 22. Is AmFest out in Phoenix. And if you guys aren't familiar with AmFest, let me tell you about it real quick. And no, I won't be speaking. They did invite me. They don't know about me. But it's going to be absolutely amazing. And so what I want to show you guys is this is what's happening out in Phoenix. The speakers galore. You got Trump, Tucker, Glenn Beck, Steve Bannon, Patrick Bet-David, Ben Shapiro, Mike Johnson, Donald Trump Jr., Charlie Kirk, Matt Walsh, Tim Pool, Ben Carson, and on 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 and on. Speakers galore over a 4-day period. So what I'm going to do, I talked to Ashley, I'm like, what do you think? We should do this? We're going to have marathons for 4 days. It's going to be like the Jerry Lewis telethon. We're going to go live 3 o'clock. Maybe 4 o'clock, 3 or 4 o'clock every single day. And we're going to have like 6-hour broadcasts. So you can come in when you want, take off when you want, come back in whenever. But we're going to broadcast live. I'm going to broadcast live from basically 3 o'clock on the entire 4 days. So just so you know, it is the 19th, the 20th, 19, 20, 21, 22. 4 days. In those 4 days, it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Probably 70 speakers. And I'm going to broadcast as many of those speakers as I possibly can. The way I'll run it is I'll let them speak. I'll come in between and speak with them. And as they're speaking, I'll be here in the background but it's going to be like hours and hours and hours. SV is texting me. What's SV? What did I do wrong? My microphone's on. It's not that. Okay, that was something else. All right, it wasn't SV. But we're going to cover all these speakers. And so I will be here in some way, shape, or form from 3 o'clock until it ends every single night. From 19th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd. On the one of those days, I've got a live interview with Carol Swain, which will interject. But for the most part, we're going to try and cover as many of those speakers as we possibly can, and then we'll do some giveaways and things of that nature. So I'd like you to join me for that. They're letting all this stuff out so Joe can get a pardon himself. No, I know, SB. I thought it was you. It looked like the same number, but you're right. It wasn't you. My bad. You know what? It's funny. As soon as I looked down, I looked up because my microphone on. My microphone was on. I'm like, okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. All right. So let's get ready to rumble here. If you guys want to enter to win a hoodie, Ashley just got a new batch in. So go to fanfareshop.org and go ahead and enter to win a hoodie. We like giving away the hoodies. It's fun. Let's see what else I want you to do. All right, I haven't changed my graphic yet, but I got to change my graphic for our X group. Fanfareshop.org/group will take you over to our free X group, our members only X group, where there's now 12,000 patrons. 12,000. I never knew it would grow to that big. You guys are awesome. And we're about to hit 10,000 subscribers over on Rumble. So, damn, things are working out pretty good. Thank you. Well, very glad you're taking time off during Christmas. Yep, I'm heading up to the mountains. Well, actually not mountains, I'm sorry. It's a different part of North Carolina. Every time I used to think about going to Robin's family, it was up in the mountains in the Asheville area. Ashley's more in the lowlands, but we're still going to have a great time. But I can't just not do nothing. I mean, I go crazy. I mean, hey, hi grandkids, and like for 2 days later, I'm like, yeah, I got to do something. And so I got a nice Verbo. It's got a nice office this time. I may not be able to go live because they may not have the setup I need in terms of the bandwidth, but I'll be posting some videos. Yeah, I'll be posting videos each day. But you can bet we're going to enjoy Christmas. I want each of you guys to enjoy Christmas. I mean, this is time of year for family. If you don't have any family, we'll be your family. We'll be your family. We'll talk. We can talk on X and everything else. So enjoy the Christmas holiday. It's the most wonderful time of the year. And it used to be funny. Christmas to me, a long time ago, just used to be another day. And one day I'll tell you why it was just another day. But it was just another day on the calendar. It didn't have much to me. And there were reasons that were happening where it didn't really mean that much to me. And now I feel like flipping Santa Claus. I can't wait for Christmas. I can't wait to go up to North Carolina and be with Ashley and her husband and her husband. Her husband has a name. His name is Justin. Ashley, Justin, and the grandkids, and then spend time with Robin and this little crazy Mexican we got running around here. And now we've got a little baby Maltese as well. So it's going to be fun for sure. All right, so let me go ahead and acknowledge the super chats so I can go have some dinner and walk the dog. From London, Andy Q. Amazing. What's it say? Amazing show. Thanks for your hard work. Much appreciated. Yeah. Somebody said, Barry, don't ever sing again, please. Was it that bad, bro? Was it that bad? Don't ever sing again, bro. Okay. Oh, you cracked me up. KRO, again, all government spending is a form of taxation. All of it. Elon Musk using our tax dollars against us. Yep, they do. They definitely use it against us. Lynn Faulkner, they have to go to prison. They have done way, way too much. I agree. Prison. They need the handcuffs. Joy, hello, Kirkland. The media didn't report it because they got their marching orders as well. Not just their marching orders, they got their checks, for sure. They're all great actors. They knew this already, and yet act shocked. They're laughable. Absolutely. Sam Rafas from Canada. Thank you for Rumble promo. Good idea to support you and them. Thank you very much. Yeah, Rumble's an up-and-coming company, and if you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. But they deserve the support. From Viking King, if one is too mentally ill to stand trial for corruption and too ill to remain in the running for political office, then wouldn't that mean, and all pardons written, he couldn't do that? I completely agree with you. But see, the Democrats are deviant. They know different aspects of the Constitution, and it doesn't say that in the Constitution. Even though the man was proven not being competent enough to even stand trial, there was no way they could stop him from doing stuff. So I don't know. Barry, can you please say happy birthday to my husband, Brad? He's 70 years old today. Wow! Hey, Brad. See, now I'm going to sing again. The other guy said for me never to sing again. Happy birthday, dear Brad. Happy birthday, dear Brad. Happy birthday, dear Brad. Happy birthday to you. I had to sing it, even though the guy told me not to sing. I know, I shouldn't sing. But I couldn't resist. It's his birthday. Beverly Linton, will any of this see the light of day? This is part of the takeover of America by the communist globalists. That's the big picture. Yeah, it makes the light of day if you share it. I love that some guy goes, hey, where can I find this? You can find everything I say basically on X. And if you begin using X like you did with Google and just type in the search bar, Police Chief Aurora, you can find it, and things like that come up. Don't forget Google. See, one of the things that makes it really good, especially for conservatives to use Twitter/X, is because of the massive search engine that it has. And so how it works on Google is the algorithm basically decides what it's going to pick and choose. The algorithm on X search, if you put in, like I would put in Trump and Kristen Welker. And so once you put that in there, you're going to see it from sources that you are going to trust. You can go through and go, oh, that's from Benny, that's from PBD, that's from Joe Rogan, and so then you'll be able to see that particular content. But other than that, probably not from the media. Hey, just another knucklehead. Thank you very, very much. Big news. Thanks, Barry. Thank you very, very much. Big knucklehead. Laura Zemba, thank you. Kyle Frost, you think would be better to take pardons and truth to come out of their own mouth instead of jail time? I would. I mean, but again, they don't care. These people have lived in a cocoon. Most of them are extremely rich. And to tell you the truth, if it came down between Liz Cheney and Cassidy Hutchinson and Alyssa Farah, she'd sell those people out in a heartbeat. I mean, they're ruthless. They may get suicided. Nicholas Lamonicus, hi, Barry, thank you for all you do. If Cheney gets a pardon, won't they get away with what they do? Oh, they're going to get away with it. That's the bitter pill we have to swallow at this point. Unless Joe says, unless he mans up and goes, screw you. You guys screwed me. None of you are getting pardons. That would be the ultimate right away FU to the Democrat Party. You took me out the race. You put in this cackling idiot, told me I couldn't run. Now, Joe wouldn't do this because Joe probably doesn't even know what's going on. This would be Jill. And lately what we've been seeing with her and different things she's been doing, I don't know. I wouldn't want to be on her bad side at this point. But she tells Joe, don't sign this or something. Who knows? B. Guerra, maybe Trump hire one of the planes that right in the sky around a banner. Freedom Principle, thank you very much. Big Cat again, thank you. Oh yeah, Barry, keep finding the truth. These sickos, they're absolutely sickos. They don't make any Any doubt about that? These people are quite sickos. BTC over 1.6. What he's saying here is Bitcoin is over 106,000. I had put up a poll on the community page, and wanted to know if you guys wanted me to bring Joe McGee back for a Q&A session. So I think it was like 70 to 30% on X, and then again on YouTube it was like 68%. So we're gonna bring him back for a Q&A probably tomorrow. Mel Porter, Merry Christmas to you and your family. Merry Christmas to you. Tom Chow, thank you very much. Let's see here. Ronald Zimmerman, thank you very much. All right, everybody, we'll see you at 7:30. Go get some dinner, hug your kids, kiss the wife, do whatever you need to do on your end. That's pretty much what my plans are in between shows. Got a lot to talk about tonight. I'm sure some stuff happened while we were on the air. Wait a second, there's one more just popped in. Merry Christmas. I am a widow and alone, so y'all mean a lot to me. So why don't y'all all right now say Merry Christmas to Maria? Maria's all alone. You know, there's still, what, almost 10,000 of you in here. Why don't y'all just make Maria feel good today? Do something good right now and say, Maria, Merry Christmas. Let Maria know that she's not alone and that you guys, you know, you're there for her. If she may not know you, you may not know her, but let Maria know, you know, Merry Christmas. There you go. That's what this is all about. Merry Christmas, Maria. Or is it Marta? Did I say it wrong? I thought it was Maria. Marta, Merry Christmas. Yeah, Merry Christmas, Maria. Love that. Love that. I think we're gonna do a show this week before everybody breaks. We're just gonna say Merry Christmas to everybody. Maybe if I can get JJ, we'll do a prayer meeting, because I know this is a time of year that's really tough on a lot of people. And Maria, thank you. Look at that. Look at that outcry, Maria. You're not alone. You guys are awesome. You guys are flipping awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much. All right. That's what we can count on. It doesn't cost anything, but it makes somebody feel good. All right, everybody. Thank you. We'll see you at 7:30.
Thank you.